Good afternoon. Efforts are underway to convince more Scots to get tested for HIV in a bid to end the stigma surrounding the condition. The new drive to raise awareness comes ahead of World AIDS Day tomorrow, and one of the longest living survivors of the virus added his voice when he spoke to STV News. James Chain has this report.
Living with HIV for more than 35 years, John survived much longer than most. He's known others who didn't make it this far.
Very traumatic to see those people have gone before me, and I'm still here.
Back in Scotland, he was one of the first. It's a moment that stuck.
When I was diagnosed, they told me I'd almost gone into full-blown AIDS, and they gave me 3 years to live. How wrong were they?
He spent the years since campaigning and raising awareness, but there's stories too of abuse often following him, place to place.
There needs to be more campaigns done on discrimination and stigma to stop this from happening to positive people. They're human beings, they've got an illness. It could be a cancer, it could be leukemia, it could be any illness.
And he's urging others to take testing seriously.
It's up to each individual to think, do I need to go for a test? And go for it, whether you're 16 years old or 66 years old.
Now living in Cornwall and enjoying a new relationship, John's partner Elliot says it's all about openness and honesty.
Of course you're always going to have that risk involved, but at the end of the day you're always surrounded by risks, you're always surrounded by troubles. It depends what you feel in your mind and your heart about things.
There are more than 5,000 people known to have HIV in Scotland. Public Health Scotland estimate another 767 undiagnosed cases across the country.
Stigma is a major issue that's stopping people from coming forward and getting testing. The fear of a HIV diagnosis is still really prevalent in communities where HIV is an issue.
Times have changed though.
Since I've been so open with it.
Michael is one of the most recently diagnosed. He discovered his condition using a home testing kit like this one.
I initially wanted to put it in the bin and pretend that it was wrong, and then got on with my life. But the fear of my own death and infecting other people round about me, that kind of made me go to the doctors.
The information and support that's available now bolstered him. His friends and family rallied round, and his medical outlook is good.
HIV is not the case it used to be 20 and 30 years ago. There's either two ways that you're going to go. You can either let it consume you and destroy you, or you can raise up above it.
Well, James is here to tell us more. James, the home testing kits we saw in your report are relatively new. Talk us through them.
They are, Laura, yeah. There are several ways to get tested. You can go and see a doctor, you can go to a clinic, and now these home testing kits, as we saw, are available. And these can be ordered online for free. And what you get is a needle to prick your finger with, and a tube where the blood from the finger prick goes in. The tube is inserted into a wee pot there, and within 15 minutes, you're told your HIV status. On this tube here, it looks very similar to a pregnancy kit. And indeed, that's where the idea for these come from. The advice is that if you're told by this tube that you are HIV positive, to go and see the doctor to seek that advice. And there's a wee slip that comes in there as well for if you are positive. It tells people not to panic and reminds them HIV is just 3 letters. It's not a sentence.
And many people diagnosed with HIV now can be undetectable. Tell us, what does that mean?
That's right. The second person we saw in the report there, Michael Shawn, said to me, he said, I'm fit, I'm healthy, and I'm undetectable. And what that means is that the modern drugs that are used to treat the virus can suppress it to such an extent that it's barely visible in the bloodstream, but also that it can't be passed on to other people. He says that when he tells people that, their attitude changes immediately. And what a difference to John, the first man we saw in the report there. He was told at the point of diagnosis that he had 3 years to live. This was in the days of the Tombstone TV advert, which really put the fear of God into people. The 2 cases really show how far we've come.
Well, James, thanks for joining us this lunchtime.